also, there's a lot of trolls that definitely get trolled the most on Twitter. There's just so many. So, having said that, there's not a lot of lovely people on Twitter, but because this is kind of like an uncensored Trish, I may just end up engaging with some of the trolls. I know they say don't feed the trolls, but hey, as a former troll myself, I have to make sure they're fed, you know. No troll goes hungry, but I asked Twitter, it's like, what should we talk about today? What's poppin'? Because I'm telling you guys, not much has been poppin', right? Like, there's no scandals going on to even, like, think about these situations. People have been on their best behavior, and can I say I applaud that? I love that, okay? Like, I love when people are on their best behavior, cool. Like, no one's getting anxiety. Well, before we get to the Twitter ones, let me just say I have a Skims bra on, and I love it. I adjust my straps a lot because I need to tighten them, but other than that, like, it's so comfortable. So, not sponsored, but hey, Skims, if you want to send me some free bras, because these bras ain't cheap, they're nice though. I just gotta adjust. Okay, so I asked, what should we talk about in today's podcast? My Twitter, by the way, is at Trisha Betas. Just kidding, at Trisha Betas. It was one of the handles I could get. I used to have at Trisha Betas on Instagram, and that account got like deleted. So I don't know how I get that back. I'm so annoyed. I'm more annoyed that I can't get the name. So I'm Trisha Betas backup. Don't even. It's a whole. I had a band-aid over that wound, and now I just ripped it off. Oh, interesting. Okay, you guys gave a lot of good topics, actually. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh, we have so... Okay, so I just did a Q&A on the main channel about the baby, so any, like, baby-related stuff, you know, check out the main channel. So, oh, there's actually, like, a lot. Okay. So let's just get into it. Upcoming, a new live-action Scooby-Doo movie where Velma is gay. Okay, so they asked about this, and they asked about the one underneath it was upcoming Disney movies and Little Mermaid controversy. Okay, well, I love that Velma is gay in Scooby-Doo. I think that's awesome. I always said I really hope that they give, like, they highlight, they integrate gay couples, gay singles, all that stuff like that, like Velma, a lesbian, great. I just always hope that they can gear away from, like, that's their whole personality on the show. Okay, for, like, instance, like Modern Family, I love the show. I'm not, like, knocking the show. I think it, like, did amazing things, and, like, it was really cool to have, like, you know, like a gay couple on TV. I just don't like when their personality or, like, the jokes are, like, about them being gay. I can kind of relate to it. I mean, this is not the same thing. I'm not saying fat is the same as being gay, but, like, okay, for instance, like, I'm fat, right? Okay, cool, whatever. I don't care. It's not, like, offensive. Don't say, like, no, you're not fat. Like, I am. I'm over 200 pounds. Like, I'm fat. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with it. I feel confident in myself. Like, you know, I'm working on myself every day, but yeah, I'm fat. And I, you know, as someone who likes to see themselves right on, you want to see a representation of yourself in, like, film and television. I hate when the whole personality trait of the fat person is them being fat. The jokes are about them being fat. They are alluding to them being fat. Like, we get it. We can see. We know this person is fat. Like, I don't like when it's, like, the whole personality. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel that way with, like, when they integrate gay people on TV, like, or gay couples, like Desperate Housewives had a gay couple, and, like, that was really innovative for, like, 2000, what year was it, like 2004 or something. Maybe that was like 2006, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. Like, they just put them on there, but the whole thing was, like, that they're gay, and, like, there was so many, like, jokes about them being like, oh, you like sports, like, you're gay, you can't, like, you know what I mean, like, that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, like, that kind of stuff, that bugs me. I don't know why. And same thing with being fat. There was a show called Mike and Molly, and the whole thing was just, like, basically about their weight, and, like, they're two big people, and they met at, like, Overeaters Anonymous, and I was like, is this the whole setup? It would be nice to just have, like, or Rebel Wilson when she was heavier, everything Fat Amy, or the movie where, like, oh, no one could possibly like her when she was fat. Like, alpha, because alpha to me is like, oh, masculine toxicity, like toxic masculinity. Oh, that's kind of tingly to be like that. Toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity. Ooh, I like that. I think that's a tingle at the 8.5 minute mark. I'm gonna rewatch. So, I have a Generation Alpha daughter. I'm here for him. I'm here. And we're get used to it. I also forgot my daughter's birthday on TikTok. I didn't. On TikTok, it's like happy 1 month to my daughter. Today is October 12th. My daughter was born September 14th, and I was counting the Wednesdays. I had my daughter on a Wednesday, so like every Wednesday, I'm like, okay, she's a week old, she's 2 weeks old, she's 3. So I don't look at dates. I'm a new mom. All the days flow together. I don't look at dates, and I was like, oh, okay, right. We should have probably waited a day before we celebrated, 2 days before we celebrated. But back to the Velma's gay. I think that's great. Because like I think just like knowing someone's like sexuality, right, or like the fact that she could have like a crush on a girl on the show, like it does take it one step toward normalcy if they don't throw it in your face every minute or make it the butt of a joke, which I don't think they'll do on Scooby-Doo. Like, what are they gonna do, make lesbian jokes on Scooby-Doo? I don't think that's gonna be the case, but I like that they announced her as gay. Umbrella Academy too just had one of their characters transition, which I thought was so cool. They like gave them like a new name and everything to go with their gender identity. And Elliot Page plays this character, and I thought that was like really cool that they did that. I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool representation. I like that they have an actor behind it that, you know, has the same who speaks out for the same equality. I always like that. I always think that's great. I think that's why, you know, people can like again normalize these kind of things, because like it doesn't have to be the whole personality of the character or change the character or change like the setting of the show. Like it just is something, like it's just a name change, it's just a gender change. And as I've talked about so many times, like I think gender should also be a very fluid thing. I don't like labels, and I know I'm gonna get a ton of people coming for me because I have very feminine things for my daughter. I named her Malibu Barbie, and she has a pink room, and it's a very girl, quote unquote, aesthetic. But I honestly, like, I just, you know, I like Malibu Barbie. I like pink, you know, it's not because I'm like ultra girly or something like that. Like, that into itself is like insulting, but it's so hard to articulate that. I don't know how to say it really or explain what I'm trying to think in my head, but like, why is a pink aesthetic girly? Why is Malibu Barbie like, oh, you're raising her to be female, or she's wearing dresses, you're raising her to be female? Why is dresses associated with being female? Do you know what I mean? Like, I get it, like I know why, it's a rhetorical question, but I'm saying like, why can't we just have it where like anybody can wear dresses? Like, if I had a son, I could put him in a dress, you know what I mean? I pick clothes based on how cute they are, right? How they fit my child. If I had a boy, biologically a boy, you know, I would see his personality. Like, yeah, would I buy him suspenders to start out with? Probably, because that's what's in the Target boy section, but like, I would see his personality. And says it, my daughter, for instance, like, I don't put bows in her hair, really. One, she doesn't like them, so why am I gonna put, she takes them off right away, so I'm like, okay, she doesn't need a bow. Why? To be like, I'm a girl. Like, again, I don't care about that. I care about cuteness, and I care about comfortability. Look, I tried to put her in a pink frilly dress, and she was like, not about it. I took it off right away. I was like, alright, let's, and maybe that's just like, she wasn't comfortable. She was, you know, she's like 3 weeks old or whatever. But I don't care about that stuff. Like, I just care what's cute to me, and like, wow, my child feels in it. That's it. By the way, so I'm reading the comments on these podcasts. Everyone's like, this is so chaotic. This is, to me, I feel like I'm just chilling, but maybe they feel a little chaotic, I guess. I don't know. I get so excited to like chit chat and stuff because I love doing podcasts. Like, I'm still looking to do cases where we don't have an accurate description of him, right? Like, he could be way darker, he could be way lighter, like, we don't know, but for some reason there's like this Caucasian like portrait in every church, and I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'm not getting into all that, but like, I don't see the controversy about it. Like, I don't understand why that's a thing, but people just want to be mad at something, I feel. And I think this is like nothing, you know. I think she had like an amazing voice. It gave me chills. I think she's one of the prettiest Disney princesses we have. I think they're all beautiful. Okay, but like, I loved Lily James as Cinderella. I thought she was so gorgeous. But like, Haley Berry? I think is her name. She's like breathtaking, and her voice is like phenomenal. And I'm super, super excited about it. And Little Mermaid is classic, and again, like, she is a fish. I've seen that argument so many times. Like, at the end of the day, Ariel's half human, half fish. I don't think there's like race to be like considered. It's like, let's talk about the fact that she's half a fish, okay? Like, let's talk about all of that, because that's a whole other thing. But, and I'm sorry, Melissa McCarthy is not purple, okay? She should not be playing Ursula. I should have been Ursula. I'm not wholesome enough for that. I'm simply not. I will say, Naveen Andrews should have played Jafar in the live action remake of Aladdin. That Jafar, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, that was not my Jafar, you know what I'm saying? Naveen Andrews played Jafar in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and oh my god, was he phenomenal. He's phenomenal. Okay, this is what day is this? Like day 4 of me trying to get Naveen Andrews on this podcast. I love his voice so much. Okay. So maybe talk about things. Okay, there's a lot of stuff about mom talk. I have a whole family channel. Check it out. I have a main channel. I did a whole Q&A about mom stuff, which I'd love to talk about. But Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't watch the show. I will not watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills unless I'm on it. And I am a housewife, and I have a baby, and I'm close enough to Beverly Hills. Most of those people are not in Beverly Hills, so. I have to give a shout out to Number One Fishy. I haven't seen this Twitter account before, but they're really coming in with the topics, and I love it. Your opinion on 50 Cent's grown son saying $6K a month isn't enough child support for him. What? First of all, if you're getting child support as a grown, I don't know the situation, this is just like what I'm reading right now. If you're a grown adult and you're getting child support, first of all, kudos to you. I wish I was getting child support as a grown adult. My child support stopped when I was 18. Look, here's the thing. If you're 50 Cent's son, okay, and you're not a grown adult, like 6K is like Chemical Romance, front row tickets, VIP, like everything, right? And it was through a friend of mine who like was able to hook it up. And I felt, first and foremost, I felt really bad that I was even considering going. I like just was like, wow, I don't think I'm a good parent, because like I'm thinking about going to a concert 1 month after giving birth. I know we were just saying I'm not gonna talk about this stuff, but you know what, I'm going to, because it is on my mind and it was weighing on me, and I talked about it in the last podcast. And if you know anything about music, you know I love My Chemical Romance. I love them, and they haven't toured in like 15 years. Will they tour again? I probably not. I wouldn't think so. I don't know, maybe, but to me this seems kind of like a novelty tour, kind of like Blink-182 is doing it again. Like I feel like that's what my gut tells me. Maybe they made a ton of money and they'll do it again, but they are playing 5 nights here in Los Angeles at the Forum. Tonight was one of the nights, and I was invited, and VIP experience and all stuff, and I really wanted to go, and I was going back and forth in my head. I was going back and forth with my husband, and my husband ultimately was like, you can make that decision for yourself. He was like, you could go with your sister, or because I had a +1 for me. I was gonna go with a friend, but I had like a +1, and my sister would have loved it too, and I would have loved to have gone with her. And there was a lot of pros and a lot of cons, obviously. Like, okay, the pros were like, okay, it's MCR, it's front row, it's VIP. I can have like a night out and let loose, because like everything is like all the days blend into each other, okay? And it's beautiful and it's bliss, and you're cuddling and snuggling, but that is your life. Like neither one of us, I haven't really left the house. We try and go out to lunch here and there. But I was like, oh, this kind of gives me like a little bit of like my old self back. But then I was like, do I want my old self back? Like this is what I was like, I waited for my entire life, like to have a child. And like that to me was like, why would I be leaving that? But then it's like, oh, like I should try and find a balance, so I feel a little bit like my me time. Like when I do my makeup in the morning, it's my me time. Even like this podcast is kind of like, okay, just Trish like rambling, I don't know. But, and then there was a lot of cons. Ultimately. Like I have family coming into town. I don't want to get them sick. Like what I originally was going to do is like quarantine after the concert, stay at my sister's and like test the next day and the day after, and not get like close or anything like that. Like literally wear a mask in my house. But then I was like, you know what? I already had COVID in May. Like my doctor was like, the chance of getting it the next 6 months is like slim. So I was like, okay, I was gonna wear a mask at the concert, but ultimately my daughter's immune system and stuff was really low, and we got our flu shots, we got all this stuff, and I was like, there's no way in hell, like I'm gonna just like jeopardize her health. Like now, if this was like a year, right, maybe I'd feel a little different, right? Maybe I'd be like, okay, her immune system's up, she's got all her shots. But that was the ultimate reason why I didn't go, because I was like, I would never forgive myself. Like even with family coming to see her, like we had people test, we had people get the flu shot, the Tdap, like all of it. They gave me all my shots in the hospital. But I don't know, I wasn't like, I don't know. And then ultimately, like we had dinner and watched TV like we do every night as family. It's so much fun. Like I love it. It's like our favorite thing. We cuddle all this stuff, and it's like the end of the day, work is done, everything's just like put off until tomorrow. And I couldn't like stand the thought of not being with my husband and my daughter. I don't know, it's like life is short. I know this is gonna get like weird and morbid here, okay, but life is short, right? And like I'm praying that we all have at least 40 more years together. At least, maybe 45, maybe 50, that'd be great. We can celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary and then, pass peacefully and go back into the earth as water and send it to heaven. That'd be great. But it's like if we could have 50 years, and if I missed one day of that, I would feel so sad. And look, I know it's like impossible to like spend every night together for the next 50 years, especially with Malibu. I think by the time she's 50, she might be doing her own thing. Maybe not. Maybe she'll still be cuddling with us in bed. That's fine. But worried. Like, okay, if I see someone, I don't want to like be too standoffish, but a little tingle break. It's overcasted too. And like going somewhere without my husband, he's like my security guard. I don't know. Look, again, if it was a year from now, maybe it'd be different. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. But it is a crazy thing when you're like a mom. Like you want to have every single day that you can with her, because I'm not going to be around forever. And yeah, maybe she won't remember these days or whatever, but I want her to have as much time with me as possible, and I want to have as much time with her. I think that's more selfish. I think it's more me wanting more time with her. So let's be real about that. But I don't know. It's one of those things. We were watching last night. We watched the Gabby Petito movie. It's on Lifetime. We watched it on Hulu. Yeah, it was so tragic and so hard to watch. Like, this is why I can't watch like Dahmer. We've talked about, like, I can't watch true crime things because it's like, and I thought, well, you know what? I kind of heard the story on social media. I could probably watch it. It was so hard to watch it. Not that it's graphic or anything like that. Like, I'm just ultra sensitive to this stuff. How someone you could love and care for and care about, like, turn and murder you. If you guys don't know, Gabby Petito, it was a huge story on social media. She, her and her fiance Brian, they did this van life sort of social media thing. And the movie basically had it out to be like he was trying to isolate her, so that's why they did this van life thing. And she was all about the social media and trying to be this van life vlogger. And he obviously was emotionally abusive and mentally abusive and ultimately physically abusive, and ended up killing her. And it was chilling to watch, to see that story and like to even imagine the real thing. I can't. They did dramatize some of it, and some of it, you know, they added fictional parts to kind of, you know, it's a movie. But the world is so scary. And again, because I have a daughter, I keep bringing it back to that. It's like, you just want to protect. And my sister too. I look at my sister as like someone I need to look out for. But even my mom, you know, it happens to people, you know, when they're older too. It's such a scary world we live in. And there's nothing you can do to, like, you can't teach someone to look for these signs, right? Like, you can, I guess, you know, like, but she saw the signs, she saw the red flags. And it was just one of those situations where she could not escape. And I think she tried. According to the movie, she like broke up with him the night that she was killed. I don't know if anyone for sure can know this. You know, said it wasn't working out, but she'll love him. But like, she can't let's see if there's something happening.